Government's intervention at tackling irregularities at the nation's seaports yields positive results as port users enjoy improved services. We'll tell you how government achieved this feat and efforts to sustain and improve on strategies deployed on this week's episode of The Shipper after this short message.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba,
Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting for the port of Nane.
Welcome to the program. My name is Rekia Zikru Yagoyaju. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, says government will continue to come up with strategies to address the anomalies at the nation's ports and make the facilities user-friendly. He gave this assurance in Lagos during an interaction with the media. Abiodun Adesina covered the event and sent in this report presented by Lucy Ulugbe.
Port operations in Nigeria have for too long been characterized by corrupt practices and inefficiencies. To say that this has negatively impacted the ease of doing business index at the ports, especially the movement of cargoes in and out of the ports, is putting it mildly. The loss of revenue for government has been unquantifiable. Some estimates put it at trillions of naira. What is very clear, however, is that Nigerian ports have lost a significant amount of business to other ports in the sub-region.
The clearing of container actually is a very terrible one in Apapa because it takes us more than 3 weeks before you exit your container from the port. But since the operation of this port, Operation Free the Port, come up, I believe that they are going to achieve because in 2 days you will clear your container out of the port. The traffic have reduced drastically.
There seems to be a barrage of stop gaps and barrages of control posts. And I'm wondering, where does all of this summarizes? Who takes care of all of these things?
We've gone a long way by sitting down with ourselves in order for us to have a free flow of corruption in the port. Because if we don't remove it from our blood, it's going to kill us one day. So the port is not for that. You come here to come and do your daily bread and get your salary, get your wages, do your business and get out of the place. So, but they should not center it on the workers alone. All the security agents and so many people that are working in the port too, they should purge themselves as well.
It is aimed at assisting or solving our problems. We are the victim. We are the victim of extortion. We are the victim of harassment. We are the victim of intimidation, and our business is under attack. And if they are coming to resolve some of these problems for us genuinely, as I have observed here, we are happy about it.
It takes two to tango. If there is no giver, there will be no taker. And what we have observed along the port corridor, when a toll newly came in, for 2 weeks, everywhere was dry. Nobody was carrying gun. Nobody was chasing anybody because the rules were there. It was simply digitalization. No human intervention. I am averse to any committee, any team of any type, because the moment you have individuals, they will tell you, Apapa pass what? Thank you. Apapa pass Yahoo. Bring an angel. At the end of the day, people with character, people with integrity are eventually messed up.
Talking of extortions, it takes two to tango, it takes two to commit the sin of adultery. Both the givers and the receiver, they are both guilty. But what I will say from my members, I will continue to let them know that they should resist any attempts from them to be given. They should stop giving. Because if they stop giving, they will still have nothing to take, to receive.
Seen as the maritime sector should supplant crude oil sales in bringing in much-needed foreign exchange earnings, government keeps seeking solutions to the menace. One of such solutions is the adoption and introduction of the Port Process Manual as part of efforts to address these challenges. It has been a little over a year since the Port Standing Task Team started monitoring the implementation of the manual to sanitize the ports. In line with this objective, the Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, flagged off the Operation Free the Port Corridor at a press conference which took place at the headquarters of the Nigerian Shippers Council in Lagos recently. Represented by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, the minister said this campaign is meant to clear access roads leading into and out of the ports for free movement of cargoes. The objective is to reduce to the barest minimum the time cargo spend on the roads and eliminate the perennial gridlock and enhance the ease of doing business at the nation's seaports. Of course, we know that the port corridor's congestion is linked to activities on the seas, and so this campaign becomes necessary as the situation at the port seaside begins to record some improvement. Before now, it takes a vessel about 5 hours to navigate from anchorage to berth. It takes a vessel about 90 minutes to achieve that today.
Will we ever be able to clear Apapa corridor? And I can say boldly that we are moving forward. Late last year, I entered the car and I said, Marina, they said, no ma, we are going straight to Apapa. I was going to Nemasa. And I said, guys, don't do this thing to me. Don't break the rules. Don't do one-way driving because you must get me to where I'm going to, because I'll feel highly embarrassed if road safety stops this vehicle and I have to come out of it. And they said, ma, we won't break the rules. And from VI to Nemasa, that's from Eko to Nemasa, took us 20 minutes. Again, it's courtesy of the gentlemen and women sitting down here. I am recapping this so that we know that we are achieving something.
The Permanent Secretary, who addressed journalists on behalf of the Minister, thanked members of the Port Standing Task Team for their efforts at ensuring improvement in cargo dwell time, which she disclosed was in line with the Minister's aspiration of actualizing a well-modernized port system in the country.
I think that was said in this hall today that we do not know in the ministry, and it's something that is known to everybody, right? But the key thing is, what do we intend to do with the information that we know? And the information that we know is why we are setting up an expanded team to make sure that all the agencies involved along the corridor are co-opted into this standing team to make sure that we read the corridor of the port of everything that should not be there. So I'm more reassured that with this expanded team, we have told some truths to ourselves. We will go back and make sure that we do what we need to do.
For the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, The pivotal role played by the Port Standing Task Team was very instrumental to the positive developments in port operations.
Must be congratulated having succeeded in forming this group as an enlarged task team for the purpose of removing illegal checkpoints and shanties along the port corridors. I am particularly excited because of the level of buy-in obtained from the stakeholders coming from both the public and private sectors. I can assure everybody on behalf of the task team that the operations will be conducted without undermining the provisions of any agency's SOP and or the Act. The team is mindful of all legal and institutional frameworks guiding the operations of all agencies operating within the corridors. However, we must come to terms with the fact that the government will not just come up with an idea of a task team just like that. It must be seeking to achieve an aim, which in this case is essentially to rid the ports and port corridors of inefficiencies and corrupt practices, to enhance the ease of doing business as well.
The Coordinator General of the Port Standing Task Team, Moses Fadipe, attributed the improvement in port operations to the commitment of hard work of members of the team. Fadipe thanked his colleagues for their selflessness and dedication to duty. He noted that the team wouldn't have achieved so much without the support from the Nigerian Shippers Council and the Ministry of Transportation.
In the area of officials of government, boarding vessels, right now we have a streamlined system whereby all agencies know how many of them should board vessels at any point in time and what timeline they are expected to spend on board of the vessel. And if there is any reason to spend beyond that, they must make a formal report.
Fadipe explained that the situation is a lot better because of the cooperation among the various law enforcement agencies at the ports, which he said has led to the dismantling of the too many checkpoints around the ports.
We have what we call joint examination of cargoes, whereby the Nigerian Customs are supposed to coordinate that activity. As of today, every agency of government are being coordinated by Nigerian Customs to do that exercise. And the gains we have there is that in a terminal like APMT, that over the period of 2021, they have an average of 124 boxes per day examined, are now doing 190, 195 per day. And if you go to TICT, it's over 200 per day. And if you move to Ports and Cargo, it's more than that. So those are the gains of the joint physical examination. And let me say a big thank you to the CAC, Comptroller of Apapa, Comptroller of Tinkan, and Comptroller of PTMA, because their men are physically present at all times, and they are now coming as at when required, that we have 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. to do examination. Unlike in the past, that you can be there at 6 o'clock. 9 we are on, by 4 everybody's off.
Representative of the Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, Eniola Williams, announced that NPA, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the Lagos State Government have signed a memorandum of understanding to come up with minimum safety for trucks plying the access roads. She added that the authority has engaged the Federal Ministry of Works to accelerate the rehabilitation of Apapa Port access roads.
There has been a mapping of all these checkpoints. There's a work plan to see which ones should survive, which ones are needed, and the terminology that was used here, though not defined, I'm sure it will be defined as the work progresses, the invisible ones. So we're talking about 26 visible. How about the invisible? Be rest assured that by the work plan that is already in place, those would be taken care of. We're thanking those currently on the field. Those currently on the field too have identified the issue of rehabilitation of the roads. For us in Nigerian Ports Authority, our vision is to be the maritime logistic hub for sustainable port services, and that is huge. Nigeria cannot afford to be left behind in the Committee of Nations. So our port corridors, indeed, is a priority for us. So to that extent, Nigerian Ports Authority, Lagos State Government, all the other agencies of government, FRSC, we've had it here, FRSC, talking about its mandate. Indeed, I want to confirm and attest to an MOU in the area of enforcement of minimum standards for truck. But under this current initiative, as we salute those engaged, they would be engaging with the Federal Ministry of Works to ensure that the roads are rehabilitated as quickly as possible, because that is actually a factor that we need to reckon with.
Members of the enlarged presidential task team and other stakeholders who spoke to the shipper commended the initiative by government to address the myriad of problems affecting port operations in Nigeria. They pledged their support to the Port Standing Task Team to ensure the success of Operation Free the Port Corridor.
The essence of being here is not a waste, it's quite important. And we've had a series of meetings, even before now, on how we can solve this problem, and it's still on. But this is the first time that we'll be making deliberate, conscious efforts to solve this corridor's problem.
Working together to make this, to clear these port corridors so that we'll enhance free movement and do great service to the ease of doing business.
We have great number of men on ground to give a backup because of the importance attached to the exercise. We're here to make sure that our full support is given, and the AIJ has sent its words that at any given time is ready. And we assure you of the Nigeria Police support to make sure that all the corridors are cleared of all illegalities.
We are fully ready to cooperate with them in the arms of enforcement to see that all these extortions in the port corridors are clear off. So we assure of the state's support. You can even see this morning, our men are fully, the MOT enforcement team, they are fully on ground. So showing that the state government is fully in support of what is happening.
A lot of people still do not know that Apapa is a place where you can drive in and drive out at will. I appreciate you all for all these efforts in helping me to make my job and making the local authority look more presentable and bringing more businesses into Apapa. Apapa is the gateway to the economy in Nigeria, and yet we've had so many issues that Apapa is empty today. So many companies have moved out, factories have moved out, residents have moved out, and what is left of Apapa is a shadow of itself. But I know with you all here supporting me, the road safety man said they were assisting him. It is me that you have come to help, because I believe that Apapa will be a better, modern port city, and we all will live in a better place and conduct our businesses in a more friendly, cleaner and healthier environment.
The commencement of this port standing task team, ICPC has been fully involved. That for I think it's a year now, our staff have been going to port nearly every day to make sure that the activities there are going on smoothly, and to make sure that anybody that is caught, maybe giving or collecting bribe, are being prosecuted, investigated, and if there's any prima facie case against them, we are taking them to court.
At the end of the briefing, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, members of the Port Standing Task Team, and some law enforcement agents swung into action as they commenced Operation Free the Port Corridor. They inspected the Lagos Port Complex, Wharf, and Ijora roads.
Over now to Abike Idowu for tidbits.
First things first, as a stakeholder in the maritime industry, if you need information on the services of the Nigerian Shippers Council, you should visit the council's website www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. And if you have any complaints, make a report via the PSSP portal www.pssp.ng. Let's move on. Onne Port in Rivers State has successfully berthed what is so far the largest vessel that has called at that port. Kudos. MV Lady Jane, a vessel with a length of 295 meters and a draft of 12 meters, berthed at the West African Container Terminal of the port recently. MV Lady Jane, which sailed from Majuro in the Marshall Islands, discharged 840 TEUs and loaded 1,060 TEUs, 50% of which are agricultural commodities like cashew nuts, sesame seed, and Kasai Tora seeds. Obviously, the efforts of stakeholders in the maritime industry are now bearing fruit as Onne is becoming attractive for container traffic. This should reduce congestion at the Lagos ports. Our complaint register for the week shows that 11 complaints were received, 3 have been resolved, and 8 are ongoing investigations. The complaints include storage charges, demurrage charges, notice of caveat, terminal charges, and container deposits refund. Whenever you have any challenge with shipping, please note that you can always come to Shippers Council for assistance, and our swift response is guaranteed. Here is a letter of appreciation from Mr. Emmanuel Ihedichi of Ballast International Limited, attesting to that fact. And now, global maritime news. The Maritime Administration at the UAE's Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure has signed an MOU with the Croatian Register of Shipping, CRS, to allow the CRS issue maritime statutory certificates and carry out survey works to ensure the eligibility of ships to sail safely. As a result of this recognition, all classification societies under the International Association of Classification Societies are accredited by the UAE. CMA CGM has announced 2 new dedicated services with intermodal solutions to serve Southeast Brazil, specifically Rio de Janeiro and Minas Gerais, and connect the region to China. As of April 2022, Rail Rio de Janeiro ramp and Minas Gerais ramp products allow customers to benefit from daily departures and short and reliable transit times through the port of Santos, Brazil. Hapag Lloyd is launching a new Mediterranean, Caribbean, Central America, West Coast America Express. With 6 vessels, the service offers fast transportation for river cargoes to and from Ecuador, Peru, Chile, and other destinations in the Caribbean and Central America, connecting them with the main markets around the Mediterranean. Through its hub ports, transportation is possible as far as Turkey, Africa, and the Middle East. But wait, there's more. The Port of Los Angeles has completed the $65 million Everport Container Terminal Improvement Project. The upgrading of the terminal is designed to improve Everport's container handling efficiency and capacity, and also allow it to accommodate the projected fleet mix of larger vessels anticipated to call at the terminal over the next 2 decades. Larger vessels calling will mean fewer ship calls, therefore reducing air emissions, which is in line with the Port of Los Angeles Clear Air Action Plan. And that's it on this week's Tidbits. Till next time.
We meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
All too soon, it's time to bid you bon voyage into the week. Do remember to register with Nigerian Shippers Council if you are a regulated service provider. Until we meet again, do have a swimmingly great week ahead. Thanks for watching and goodbye.